It's me, it's BBB. I am the first and only Magnum Wrestling double champion. I am the first and only Magnum Wrestling Grand Slam champion. And you are watching the 4.5 Marks podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome, everybody, to an exciting episode of 4.5 Marks. I have none other than co-owner of Magnum, TJ Benson. And he's here to share something pretty cool with us. I mean, something that we don't know what it could be, what it is, but he has some cool things that maybe we could put up in the studio. Just share some history of what it is, what's sentimental about it, and kind of go through it and give us your take on what's special about it.
Yeah, so I feel like I brought a lot, but still not enough. You know, I don't know. We'll see. So obviously, I closed down Championship Fitness, my MMA gym. And so now I get more time to focus on Magnum Wrestling and hopefully put more energy into that. So this is just some stuff that I had at Championship Fitness. I think you guys might like. And yeah, I just don't have room for it anymore here, and I want to get some use out of it. And you guys have a bigger reach. There's some things that I don't know about, so maybe you guys can figure out what it is.
Cool.
And,
do a deep dive.
Yeah, so maybe you guys can figure it out. So yeah, I just brought first thing pretty easy. I got some hoodies. We got some NWO Wolfpack colors, some red and black.
No way.
So we got a couple of these. I hope they fit. We got a couple of those. We got regular NWO colors, white and black.
Super nice. Yeah. I like the material.
Another one.
Ooh, and white. Oh, man.
Nobody would buy these because they're afraid they're going to get dirty too quick.
They're losers, that's why.
And one limited edition size large tank top. I know you guys like showing off your guns on the Instagram stories. So a couple hoodies, shirt.
And, man. Well, thank you. That's so cool. I'd love
my
to rep
treat
it.
to you guys.
You're incredible, man.
Ooh, soft.
That's what I was saying.
Ooh, so soft.
Keep all that in.
I always say, like, I don't buy clothes that I wouldn't wear. I don't buy gloves and stuff for the gym that I wouldn't use. Like, I was always telling them, like, man, if you don't like something, tell me because I'm not going to buy it again. I only buy stuff that I use. I only support companies that I personally use. I'm not like, hey, this company is going to give me X amount of dollars, so I'm going to pimp them out. Like, I only use stuff I actually use. So, like, I wouldn't order that stuff if I wouldn't have worn it. So, I try and find good quality stuff and not just something on the clearance rack. You know.
Gotcha. So, I mean, it's a good motto to have too, especially like, I mean, the integrity, right? So I get it. I just want to throw this out there. If maybe TJ doesn't understand and we don't know what it's from, maybe you, the Magnum Militia, Mark Army, could find something about it. Just let us know in the comments below if you know anything about it.
That is, yeah, that'll help out a lot. Do you guys collect figures at all? Anything?
I know somebody does.
Okay, so I do not. And unfortunately, I don't remember who gave me this stuff. But it's yours now, so if they want it, I'll hit you guys up.
Okay.
Razor Ramon, Funko Pop.
Oh, my goodness.
Razor Ramon. One of my favorites growing up, honestly.
He's pretty cool.
Again, I hate saying this because it was a ladder match, but I think Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels 10 was my favorite match. But now it's coming out that it was like the worst ladder match ever and one of the worst matches ever I've seen people post. But man, I don't know. I guess I haven't watched it recently, but I think it had a little bit of everything. I don't know. I feel like the ups and downs were there and the storyline was there. I was 6 or 7 when it happened, but man, I don't know.
One thing beautiful about wrestling is art, and art is subjective.
Exactly.
Right? So some people can say it's not great, other people can love it to death. So that's the beauty of wrestling, right? There's so much in between that spectrum of like, it's great or it's not. But as long as you have an opinion and you can form that, That's what matters. If you're not talking about it, then it wasn't
exactly. So yeah, I just liked Razor Ramon. He's just obviously the cool guy, and I like the purple and gold and the razor blades, and it's just a little bit different. The chains. Yeah, there's only one guy that wears a chain that I don't like, but yeah, chains are pretty cool.
Yeah, we're with you.
Yeah,
we're definitely with you.
On the same boat with you there.
All right, so we got this.
That's super cool. He had one of the best Hall of Fame speeches too.
He did.
That Hall of Fame almost made me cry.
Yeah,
it was so good.
I definitely teared up for his Hall of Fame speech. It was really good.
So good.
All
I still
right.
quote that all the time. Bad times never last. What bad guys do.
One of the GOATs, right? Ric Flair.
Yes.
Whoa. Was a big Ric Flair fan too, obviously. He got me through high school, right? I read his book, which was, every category that I needed: an autobiography, fictional, non-fictional. I used his book for every book report all 4 years through high school. So
cool.
He got me through English class. It was amazing.
Tag Ric Flair.
And
let's hear your woo.
Oh, I got no woo. No woo. But yeah, Ric Flair with his robe.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had a when I was the double champ, I had a robe, but it was trimmed in black, but it was blue, same color. Obviously.
That's from his last WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania 24.
That was my joke. Obviously, I'm Triple B. My dad is Triple H, and Ric Flair is my grandfather. So that was my gimmick for a while, peeling back the curtain. So
that's so cool.
That's so cool.
I love being a good guy that kind of cheats a little bit. Dirtiest player in the game. So yeah, I used a lot of stuff from Ric Flair.
That's so cool.
That's so awesome.
I would have never guessed that, I'll be honest. So that's really cool to know.
And another one. This was my favorite wrestler growing up. Number one favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Sting.
That
Obviously.
one's so cool. Oh my God.
A little bit before my time. Obviously, I like black and white Sting, beating up the whole entire 42 people of NWO by himself, right? So Surfer Sting and American Sting were a little bit before my time, but still pretty cool. I like the red, white, and blue scheme.
I do too. A lot.
Blonde hair,
Omaha native.
Yep, exactly.
Crazy.
Yep.
It still baffles me.
I know, it trips me out too. I guess I've met him too, like just face to face. One time, my grandpa knows him somehow. Somehow they worked together at one point, and just I met Steve, but didn't know it was Sting.
Yeah,
but I knew it was Steve.
But I've been promising this one for a while.
Yeah, this one I've been excited for.
The Mask.
Nobody else knows about this. I'm the only one that knows this one.
Yep. So this mask, Black Tiger mask.
Wow.
I've had this. I've had this for a long time. I don't remember where I got it from.
It's a really nice mask.
I have never worn this mask. I told you who wore it, right?
Yeah, you did tell me.
Maybe we'll keep that a secret. Somebody did. Was my tag team partner that used this mask. Actually, 2 tag team partners wore this mask. I never got to use it, but I know you guys like masks. Got them hanging up.
Yeah.
So
we got a ton more too. We need to hang up some more. So this one's cool. We should get a mannequin head for that.
Oh,
there you go.
That'd be really cool.
Definitely.
It's a really nice quality mask. We have some really bad masks. So
yeah, like I said, originally I actually liked La Parka growing up, but everybody had a La Parka mask, and there's like a lot of knockoffs of them. So I was just like, man, I want something different.
We have one.
And yeah, I figured.
It's somewhere in there. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
That one's super nice.
So, yeah, I've had it, probably 8 or 9 years, I think. And like I said, I've never used it, so.
Never even the thought of putting it on.
I got it for a.
You can say what you want. I get it.
So I got it so I could wrestle Yellow Dog.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted cat versus dog, and I had all these great ideas, and it just never happened because I was like, man, cat versus dog. He could do all of his belly rubs, all that stuff. Man, I just sit on top rope, and I'm just like chilling like a cat. All of a sudden, I just run out of the ring for no reason at all. Then I'll just get bored and just sit there. There's so many things we could do, cat versus dog. And
yeah. Ooh, such a cool dynamic.
unfortunately, it just never happened. So, yeah, a couple other people used it, and
just been passed down the line.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool, man.
But again, I'm not just gonna throw it away. It's a nice little mask. So
no, definitely. I mean, the quality
Mm-hmm.
of this thing is super nice. Like we'll take out some of the other masks we have and just to look at the difference. Like this one's actually really well made. Super nice. You can tell when they're like knockoffs too, or like bad masks, just by the stitching alone. But this one's super clean around the eyes and everything. So super nice. So you said you've had it for 8 years?
Man, I want to say probably seven or 8 years. I can guarantee 7. One and only Championship Fitness sticker.
Oh my goodness.
The only one in existence.
Oh my goodness.
Keep it in the wrap, put it on something, whatever you want to do.
I think it's going to stay in the wrap.
So yeah, only one that exists that I know of.
That's crazy. Is that your silhouette?
I wish that was my silhouette. I wish I was that big.
Dang. Okay, here, we'll leave this one right here.
What else do we got? All right, let's do...
Yeah, just a little backstory while he grabs that. TJ was actually the first person that we ever worked with outside of the studio. The fact that he gave us the opportunity at Championship Fitness to throw kicks and then to get my ass kicked, that was a great time, honestly. I don't think most people can say that. Getting their ass kicked is a fun time, but it was an awesome time.
Bonda had his toe messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever told you.
Yeah, he took his sock off that day. It was all messed up.
It was all messed up.
But man, it was a great time. So the memories will never die, right? It's just it was an awesome place for us. Even better for you, obviously. But just for us to kind of get our start and get our groove into like reaching out and doing things with other people was just incredible. So we appreciate that.
No problem. Much. All right, next one. Obviously, this isn't true, but the only pair that I know of in existence, and I'm sure there's hundreds, but get you guys some TJC glasses.
Oh my goodness.
I know for sure I have 2 yellow pair in my bag that Slater refuses to give away. So this is my own personal collection. Again, I'm sure, we wrestled in South Dakota, Iowa. We wrestled in Sioux City, Nebraska, Des Moines.
Wow.
Man, we wrestled kind of all over. So Marshalltown, Iowa, obviously Omaha, Lincoln. And man, we did very, very well in merch sales a couple of years ago. We were doing very well. So
how long has TJC been around?
Man, I want to say we only wrestled for maybe a year, less than 2 years, and that was probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's been quite a while that we've been kind of gone.
So it's even more special that we were able to see it this year.
That's what I said. To my knowledge, I'm sure there's little kids all over the Midwest that have these somewhere, hopefully still. But if you were to ask to buy a pair right now, I personally only have 2 pairs. And like I said, I asked Slater last show if he wanted to give a pair away, and he said no. So he likes going to like the gas station and buying like $30 glasses. And then he like gives them away to kids, which is great for him. But I bought these sunglasses to give away, and he likes keeping them for himself. So props to him. He likes spending money and giving them out to little kids. So
he's the man.
He is the man. Slater is the man for sure.
Start something where you just go get some glasses from Slater. He's got them.
Yeah. Purple boxing gloves, color of Magnum.
Oh my goodness.
And his TNA wrestling bag. I've never taken him out, and he's got some hand wraps in here. But I just don't know what else I would do with them. So I train Jason Strife, and he is undefeated in the MMA, if you didn't know. Whoa. It is on YouTube. You can go watch him. He chokes him out in 30 seconds by ninja choke.
1-0?
1-0.
Wow.
And then quit. So,
hey, undefeated though.
His TNA tryout bag, and then his purple gloves. And so I used to train at Championship Fitness. He'd go in early and hit the bags and work out before he start training his guys. So he was super obsessed with purple, and pretty expensive gloves. They're like $80, $85 gloves. So Yeah.
Do you know the story behind the purple? Like why he leans so hard to purple?
I don't know why. I know he liked the stocks and bonds. We went through purple, teal, and pink.
Mhm.
Kind of that retro that we're kind of coming back to again.
The like Miami colors.
Yep, Miami Vice type. Yeah, he just liked that 80s feel. He liked like 80s, like horrible 80s action films. Like,
Nice.
but I'm pretty guilty too, because I'd say like my top 5 are probably like Over the Top, Roadhouse, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, like Waterworld, like just pretty bad 80s movies. But yeah, I mean, he liked it too. He liked a lot of. He wanted to be a stuntman more than anything. So,
That's so
obviously,
cool.
like he liked martial arts movies, Jackie Chan, just action movies.
Bruce
Claude
Lee.
Van Damme,
Yep.
movies?
Yep. So
Ooh, cool.
he was really into that, and so he kind of liked that 80s vibes, and obviously he was born in the 80s. So yeah, I just really liked all that, and just obviously wanted to be different than just black ropes or red, white, and blue ropes or anything. You wanted to stand out and wanted everything colorful and in your face. So yeah, he just had a different way of looking at everything. So really just wanted to be different. So
that's so cool. I mean, he's accomplished it for sure.
Yep.
I mean, the way that Magnum stands out, not only color wise but promotion wise. I mean, I'd say the sky's the limit, right? I mean, that's been proven time and time again for sure. I mean, in this year alone, right, and even last year, I'm saying just the reboot. Let's say it's been incredible. We as marks, we don't know what to expect, and we feel like we have a good grip on things, and we still are surprised every single time. So, I mean, the legacy for sure lives on.
That's the goal. Like I said, there's just there's so many of us that like just to sit back and think like, wow, he did this all. Obviously, he had help, but man, he really had the final stamp of approval on everything and did everything. And it's like, wow, it takes a lot of people to fill his shoes to like keep the machine running. You know what I mean? Day to day.
Oh, I'm sure.
So yeah, it's pretty
mean,
crazy.
You guys work hard. Everybody in and out of the ring.
Oh yeah.
Audio.
Somebody's always doing something.
We see it. We see it. Everyone works hard for sure, and it's not an easy thing to do. I mean, if we ever got the opportunity, it'd be something that we would like to invest in. If like things lined up and we could do our own thing, that's something that we would love to do. But we know how hard it is, and it's definitely not a 5-person job. Probably not even a 10-person job, right? Like
you need a whole.
You need a crew.
You need a crew.
So, super cool. That is crazy.
That is awesome.
That is
another one of a kind. Nobody in the world has.
Crazy.
So, again, I just don't know. Not a lot of wrestlers train martial arts. Obviously, I wouldn't want them to use them anyways. Everybody came into the gym like, oh, what are these gloves? I want to buy them. I'm like, absolutely not. Like, nobody's ever going to wear those gloves or use them again. So, but
definitely, we'll carry the torch for sure.
Appreciate that.
I'm thinking of already of like getting one of those cases so they stand up the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Glass cases or whatever.
Yeah. But wow.
Wow.
All right, another one of a kind. Jason Strife entrance robe. And man, this dude was obsessed with this thing.
Oh,
I didn't get it.
Man.
But yeah, he got it. And
It's kind of.
yeah, big long entrance robe.
If you had to date this, like if I went through and scoured through the YouTube videos,
Where would you see him wearing that?
or if you had an idea of the time period, it don't necessarily have to.
No, not
Man,
exactly.
I don't. I feel like it was more.
24th.
More recent. Within the last 4 or 5 years. You know what? I honestly think if I had to like guess with all my money, I think he wore this when he wrestled Glacier.
Whoa.
I think. So Glacier came out with like the snow effect and the blue lights. I believe he came out to the Terminator theme. No? Shoot, what was it? Maybe it was the Kill Bill theme and he had a sword? I can picture that. I hope it's First Glacier. I want to say he had this and he had a sword. They did like obviously Mortal Kombat entrances.
That's cool.
That would be my guess if I had to absolutely guess on something. I can see it. I know he did come out to the Terminator theme. and everybody did the with him.
Ooh.
Man, I would have to go back and look. That was at Ralston Arena side room, which we were there for a couple of years. So was that before your guys' time?
Before our time. Maybe not Chava's.
Maybe not Chava.
Yeah, Chava's been the longest running person at Magnum.
That's been like going to go see.
Yeah, and that's pretty much when I was double champ. Maybe not the whole time there, but a good decent time there.
Yeah.
So again, that's quite a few years
crazy.
ago. But again, he was. It's not something that he wore for like 4 years in a row, you know. And there was a lot of stuff where he would go through his gear. He had more gear than anybody I know in my entire life. So
I bet
he found like a zip up. I think he wore when we wrestled. He was the champion, and it was from his European tour. He did a European tour, and he just happened to find this jacket and all of his gear, and he just started wearing it again from 10, 15 years ago. So, yeah, just kind of random, I think, honestly. It wasn't like you just wore it for 10 years. It was wore it here and then wore it there. And
whenever it fit what he was going for that night.
I don't know if I could remember him wearing the same pair of stuff twice. He was always changing. So
every picture I've ever seen of him has been different gear.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, viewers will know about. This is a Maury Swanger painting. Whoa. Do you guys have one of these? A couple of them? No? Okay. So this is the Magnum Pro, back when we went through a Magnum Pro phase, Magnum Wrestling phase. 1 of 5. So he made 5 of these, and I have number 1.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm assuming you could find 2, 3, 4, 5 somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I want to say Donnie Pepper Cricket has one of them. I don't know who has the other ones.
Look at that frog splash.
So, yeah, I'm not sure.
They're definitely silhouettes of Magnum.
That's obviously Jason Strife.
Right.
I would love to say that's me kicking, but I'm not sure who I'm kicking. I want to say that's...
Look at frog splash, like you said, bro.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would want to say that's Superfly.
Okay.
Or Vic Victory.
That's cool.
But I could be wrong.
Magnum.
I'm sure that's Superfly doing his little butt bomb gimmick back in the day. But yeah, if I had to guess, that's obviously Jason Strife, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I feel like
I would love to say that's me.
I feel like I've seen that picture before. Like that silhouette looks oddly familiar to me for some reason.
Which possibly is from Over the Top, which was my debut. Because that's all I knew how to do back then was punch and kick. I didn't know how to wrestle. So
yeah, that looks super familiar for some reason.
So yeah, maybe that's something that you could do and reach out to your audience and say, hey, who has 2, 3, 4, 5?
That's beautiful, though.
There's only 5 of those, though. So,
and that's signed by Maury?
Yep.
Wow.
Painted by Maury, and I made sure I got number 1. I didn't care about any other number. I wanted number 1 or nothing at all. So
we might. Okay, to be fair though, I didn't know you were going to come through with like one of ones here. This is crazy.
I mean, like I said, it's either going to sit in storage or it's just not. I mean, some of the stuff has just even been in storage, you know. I did have a lot of stuff at the gym, but it's just people walking in and out. They don't always stop, and obviously more of an MMA gym, so not a lot of people, should say, cared about pro wrestling or understood it. Some of them didn't even know that I own the company, and some of them don't even know I wrestle. And it's like, man, that's like all that's on my social media is like wrestling and fighting. So how do you not know it? So
yeah, they go hand in hand for sure.
I think so. Yeah, and some of them are just big wrestling fans that had, like I said, no idea, and then they find out and they're like, whoa, and then boom, gain some customers and some new fans and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the trifecta.
All right, so the next one, I don't know anything about.
All right, keep your eyes peeled.
And I've looked it up, and I can't find anything. So I hope it's maybe not a one-off. Maybe it is a one-off. I don't know. The biggest misconception in Magnum Wrestling, which is beyond frustrating to me, TJC never won the tag team championships. I won the tag team championships with Jaden Drago as Bulletproof. All right, so Jason Strife was a Bulletproof Tiger. He gave us the name Bulletproof. We won. We were the champions for 690 days. Wow. So the Crucible just beat us.
Yeah.
So everything you've seen is not true. We had it for a very long time. They just beat our record. So it was me.
Was yours consecutive?
Yes. Was theirs like...
Theirs was not consecutive.
Ours was in a row. We were champions one time in a row.
I just want to throw that out there. They are not consecutive.
See.
I've had the clear up from that.
I saw that Jameson posted it was 2 reigns. I wasn't going to get into all the details. Wasn't worth my energy. I looked into it, yeah. But if you Google Magnum Pro Tag Team Champions, me and Jayden show up. There's a recorded date of 581, and we didn't lose it. We went on much longer than that. So, again, I don't really care about record books. It is what it is. Jayden doesn't wrestle anymore. But when we'd have big matches, we'd kind of give each other presents and stuff like that. It always felt like, maybe our steam was running out, or, we kind of knew that once we lost the titles, we weren't going to be together anymore. We were great friends, man. He taught me so much about psychology, and oh man, I just admire him so much. It would be like Jason Strife would tell me something for like 3 months, and then Jayden would tell me something, and it would just click. And then I'd run back to Strife like, oh man, he told me this. It's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying for like 2 or 3 months. But it was just like every single time he told me something, it just clicked. Like I think everybody just has that one teacher where, in developmental, maybe it was Dusty Rhodes or William Regal, whoever, that just makes everything click with promos and whatever else. And man, he'd always be like, don't you get it, bro? And he'd just go off, and I'd be like, oh my God, I do get it. And like, yeah, it would just like anything he said made sense to me. So like I said, it would always be like, oh, maybe we're going to lose the titles tonight, building up a big story and a feud. So we'd get each other, a present just to appreciate each other. And then, man, we'd go on again, and we'd keep winning, and just, man, I don't know. Maybe we're running out of steam, and then we get each other another present. So this is one of them that he got me. I believe I got him a Shawn Michaels. What is the guy's name? Rob. He paints watercolors for WWE. It's something very complicated. I'm not good at names, so Rob.
We'll find it.
Something, whatever. Of maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was another one. I lied. Maybe it was a framed of Shawn Michaels, and I don't remember what it was, but he's holding the winged championship, crying on his knees in, I think, the white gear with silver hearts.
Oh, that was WrestleMania
the 12, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And it was a big poster. So maybe I gave him that. Or maybe it was, I know for sure it was Shawn Michaels. Because he trained under Shawn Michaels in Texas. Whoa. So, and that was back in the 90, I think it was 97, like right when he was hot, but he was still kind of on his way out. So this was his gift after that. I'm assuming that's JM from 2009, and it's got a certificate of authenticity, but this is styling and profiling Ric Flair with the NWA title, limousine jet riding, and of course a girl.
Oh my goodness. Chava's going to freeze.
So again, Ric Flair, but I don't know anything about it. I don't know who the artist is. Man, I've tried to look up just Ric Flair cartoons, Ric Flair paintings, Ric Flair.
And it's stamped too.
Yeah, it should be legit. But again, that's up to you. If you guys want to look into it,
we will,
and figure out if it's worth anything, or just hang it up and not look it up. That's up to you guys. Or again, hopefully somebody on YouTube or something can help us.
Somebody with the knowledge, yeah. I bet you Chava will find it.
I'm sure
he's one of the biggest Ric Flair fans we know. So.
Good. That is, very good. Like I said, I had this in. This is probably in one of my promos with. We used to do TJC House Party and record promos of us playing video games, and man, we just cut promos every day, dude. We're just like every day to get better at promos, and yeah. So this was in my office at my house a couple of years ago, and then. Yeah, it's just been in storage for probably,
so cool.
Man, probably 4 years. So again, it just hasn't been doing anything, collecting some dust. So I'd rather have you guys hang it up or do something with
Of course,
it, so.
yeah. No, our whole plan is to remove everything. We're gonna
There you go.
redo this whole room.
There you
So
go.
it's remember we switched everything up because it used to be different. Remember we had all the
Yeah.
masks as a circle.
All the masks in the circle, but
Yeah.
the camera kept cutting off.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow, that's crazy.
All right, I got two things left. This
Hey, man,
is
I'm having a blast.
This is cool.
Yeah.
the single most important thing from Championship Fitness.
Oh,
And I had a lot of people ask for this.
excluding yourself, right?
It's probably more important than me, honestly.
No way.
This is the briefcase that was hanging up at Championship Fitness. This changed a lot of lives. There's a big briefcase
goodness.
speech that I haven't given you guys. I'll give you someday. But obviously, this was hanging from the ceiling. It's a very, very important speech. Hopefully, it changed. Actually, I should say it did change a lot of lives. There's some guys that met their wives because of this briefcase. Some guys
Wow.
that stopped drinking alcohol because of this suitcase, found sobriety.
That's incredible.
So yeah, this literally changed a lot of lives. A lot of people asked for it, but this was kind of, we talked a long time ago, if you just wanted one thing. And I was like, man, I don't know what it is, but when I see it, I know it. And I was just walking around the gym and I looked up and I was like, that's the thing. And then obviously I found some other things along the way, but this was the number one thing that I want to give you guys. Obviously,
Wow.
people walk in the gym and they're just like, is that the money in the bank? And I'm like, yeah, that's the money in the bank, because I don't have time to explain it every single time. But we kind of talk about, I always talk about, if the money in the bank briefcase match was real, would it be super, super entertaining or not entertaining at all? Because would somebody just run up there and grab it really fast? Or would guys really just beat each other till a living death trying to get that contract, right? If
Yeah.
they really want it,
Ooh.
you know what I mean? So we just talk about,
Like a blood sport.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just
Blood
like
sport, money in the bank.
fight, if
That'd be crazy.
a contract for a title shot is really what you want, maybe there's $1 million in here, whatever. I always say, what's in your briefcase? So it's just a motivational speech of how bad do you want it? Obviously, if you guys are climbing a ladder, what am I willing to do to stop you guys to get that? Same thing as CM Punk. Like he said, I don't go to your job and tell you don't deserve a job or a raise. So you can't tell me what I deserve and what I don't deserve. So again, a very long speech, but I think it ties in with the wrestling, the MMA, Championship Fitness.
Life as a whole, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So
how bad do you want it?
exactly. So again, one day I'll give you guys a very longer speech, the full speech. But this is without a doubt. Everybody knows this briefcase when they walk in the gym. Something to think about. I would say 95% of the people that ever step foot in the gym know exactly what this is. And like I said, the newer people are like, oh, is that Money in the Bank? So has wrestling tie-ins, has MMA tie-ins, life tie-ins. So yeah, I think it makes most sense for you guys to have it. So
We appreciate that. I mean, definitely something to apply to our lives too.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, just a little brief description. I can understand what you're saying.
Yep.
So that's cool.
And I always told everybody, it has $1 million in it. And man, there's a ladder right there every day. Nobody ever just thought to just get the ladder and go up there and see. I was like, there's $1 million in there. And what if there was $1 million in there and just every day nobody?
The contract, the championship.
That was always, that was always like, man, if I hit the lottery and really put $1 million in there and just like went up in front of everybody and opened it up and just money fell out, like, dude, it was there the whole time. Nobody believed me.
Nobody
So
went up.
that was like my
Wow.
practical joke, obviously. It's kind of
course.
hard to win the lottery when I never buy a ticket. So.
Yeah. 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Another speech right there.
The last one is the biggest one. But I didn't know this until yesterday, honestly.
Oh, cool.
So again, going back to Jaden Drago, he's trained by Shawn Michaels. You guys did your poll. So the biggest thing he ever gave me was the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy t-shirt from the actual Wrestling Academy. So,
Whoa. Does that academy still exist?
No.
Oh my
No.
goodness.
To my knowledge, it was only open for a couple of years.
Gotcha.
So, obviously, there's ones that you could just buy that were made yesterday.
Yeah.
This is
Authentic.
the legitimately one. On eBay, they have one for $300, $400, $500, $600, and $1,000. The original ones. So, I'm guessing anywhere from $300 to $1,000 for this shirt. That is a legit one. There was a time he wore it on TV too. Not obviously this exact one, but he did wear this, like I said, 96, 97.
Whoa.
He wore this exact shirt. I can't remember. It's like when he was doing promos, obviously, he wasn't wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gave me this shirt. And like I said, it's just, I always wanted to do, like you said earlier, I want to frame it, take care of it. I just never got it done. So I know he gave one to JC Slater and he gave one to me. I assume he has one, but obviously he picked up a couple when it was still open. He was trained by Shawn Michaels, so
Wow.
This is the legitimate one. So like I said, you could buy a knockoff one, a remade one for $20, I'm sure. But I would say this is the holy grail.
Wow.
Unless you can figure out, what the painting's worth or anything like that.
Of course.
Obviously, you got some Jason Strife 101s, some Morris Swinger 105s, but I would say this is probably the biggest deal. And like I said, I've just been moving it from place to place.
Wow.
No good spot for it. So
Definitely.
I don't know how many in the world, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna Google this yesterday, and then I was like, oh, might be worth a couple bucks. Huh.
That's so cool.
So there
It's a
you
big
go.
shirt too, no?
Yes, it's a 2XL. It's the only one he had, so obviously I wasn't gonna wear it. Yeah,
Right.
I wasn't gonna wear it, so I was definitely gonna hang it up, put it in a case, and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, it just never happened. But yeah, if you look it up, I promise you it's legit. I've probably had it, probably again 7-8 years, I would guess.
Wow.
But yeah, it's the real deal. Jaden was in the same class as Lance Cade.
Wow, I was just about to say, wasn't Lance Cade trained by
Yes,
Shawn?
they were in the same. They were in the same class. Obviously, he passed away, and then the class before him had Brian Kendrick. I
knew Brian
think-
Kendrick got trained by
I think he was in the class before him. Who was what? Spanky, I think, back in the
Spanky.
day. Yeah.
He
Wow.
got beat up by the Undertaker because
Yeah.
he served him papers.
Yeah.
Yep. So that one, and then Lance Cade. So obviously Lance Cade was tag team on WWE, passed away, and then so he used to write Lance on his wrist tape for that.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. I'm at a loss for words right now. I just asked you because I didn't know what could be. I just wanted something cool from Championship Fitness, and then, I mean, for you to bring this is just nuts to me. I can't wait till this video comes out, just because the rest of the marks, I'm probably going to hide all of this from them until they see it, and then they're going to know it's here. But, well, it depends who edits, right?
That's me.
Okay, cool. So nobody's going to know but us.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
So I feel like I brought a lot, but it's still not enough. Like I feel like I should have brought
I
more.
wouldn't say
so,
all that.
Yeah, this was incredible, TJ,
but,
seriously.
and I'm sure I honestly have even more stuff. This was just, obviously moving out of the gym. Some of the stuff went to storage. Some of the stuff went to the house. Trying to organize the house and the office, and then it's just
Condensing
the middle of everything. So again, some of the stuff was at the gym. I just grabbed it, was ready to go. Some of the other stuff was in storage. Taking that stuff out of storage to make room for new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I feel like I got a couple solid things in there.
More than a couple.
And like I said, it's just some of the stuff I've had in storage for years. It's not doing me any good. It's wasting. I want you guys to use it, hang it up, do a raffle,
sure.
whatever you guys want to do, because it's just collecting dust for me. So,
incredible.
And like I said, you got some swag, some collectibles,
Cool.
all kinds of stuff. Or like I said, it's just nobody else. It doesn't make sense to give to anybody else but you guys. So.
We appreciate that. I mean, I know we started it as like a kind of a joke, but like seriously, thank you, TJ.
You're welcome.
We can't say it more, you know, and we have the sign for a reason, right? It'll never leave that door. It'll always be there unless we make another one. But we'll have to see how Magnum goes, right?
Yep.
Who knows what'll happen and how, you know, what we got going on there, and with people with chains that we don't like, and
Exactly.
his loudmouth manager we also can't stand. So I don't know. Maybe we have to bust out the sign again if we ever get something down the line. So I'm very excited to see where that goes. But again, I mean, we'll do some like slow-mo shots of everything so we can have B-roll while you explain it, and then have the audio kind of go over it. So I think we'll do that, knock that out, and get it all taken care of. But man, seriously, thank you so much. Not only just myself, but on behalf of all the marks. I mean, they're going to be over the moon for this type of stuff. I really like the idea of like maybe we give away the Funko with your signature, because I don't know, I don't think those are going to leave here. The figures, I really don't. As soon as Chava gets in here, I know once you get your hands on them, they're probably not leaving. So.
Yeah, I know. Slater gave me like a bunch of stuff too, so I'm like, man, like I know he gave them to me. I'd rather give them back to him.
Of course,
sure.
He just bought me some small stuff. Like he always used to call me freaking X-Pac because I'm so small, and it annoys me so much. But I'm like, but his love is like, he calls me 123 Kid. He calls me 123 Kid because he likes Razor too, and he's like, I'm Razor and you're 123 Kid, and it's so annoying. But so he bought me an action figure of 123 Kid.
Don't do the Bronco Buster.
No,
Yeah,
I will
don't
never. No Bronco Buster, no stink face, nothing in the corner like that for me. And then he got me Mr. Perfect action figure. So Kurt Hennig actually helped train Brock Lesnar with my second cousin. I didn't know this till I started Googling him. So I have a bunch of Japanese wrestling magazines from like way back in the early 90s, and they only have my second cousin in them. So he was fans with Sting, Big Van Vader, and Bam Bam Bigelow.
Wow.
So
huge.
So yeah, if you fold them open, the center folds are like him. So it's pretty cool. And then I started like looking him up, and I was like, I wonder what if he did anything in the United States. He helped train Kurt Hennig and then Brock Lesnar and all them at the same time. So
that's nuts.
So yeah, it was pretty. They're all Minnesota, so that's like the Minnesota wrestling crew up there. So
Makes
that
sense.
was pretty cool.
Probably Shelton was involved there too, huh? You think so?
He was at the University of Minnesota.
Yeah, and if Brock was there, I'm sure Shelton somehow made his way into that.
So
I met him. He's really cool.
Yeah, we met
Shelton. Yeah, he was, like I said, he wrestled Jay Fowler on Saturday and was signed to SmackDown the following week. And then the same exact thing happened with Mustafa Ali, who wrestled
I watched that
Fowler
match recently,
and then was signed to WWE the following week.
The Fowler effect.
Mm-hmm. Too bad he can't get himself signed to WWE, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
He'll get there. I do believe so. Incredible. I mean, the talent, just in general. I mean, you guys set the bar. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody. I really don't think there's anybody that can touch Magnum. And based on all the promotions we've been to, right? Like even the bigger stuff, like AEW, you see some of those matches, you're like, oh man, I've seen a better match at Magnum, you know? So the quality, the caliber, I mean, top notch.
Yeah,
but I'm sure you guys know that. So.
That's what I said. I gave this speech at the last Magnum show before we started, and it was like, obviously, Championship Fitness. My goal was to bring everybody from around the United States to Omaha. You know, instead of flying from Miami to LA and to New York, just fly halfway. Just everybody meet in Omaha. I wanted MMA to be big, gyms, fights, all that stuff. And I just kind of realized, you know, this probably isn't going to happen. There's a reason that MMA is not that big in Omaha. So now my goal, like I said, now I have more energy to put into wrestling. And it's like, man, we have the College World Series once a year, and like, oh, you're coming out, we have a zoo, you know what I mean? But like, why can't we have wrestling? Why can't that be people from, we already have people that come from Kansas and Des Moines and South Dakota. All these people come all the way to
Colorado,
Omaha,
a lot of people.
just to watch our show every month. This is the highlight of their month, and they save all their money to come and spend at our show. So yeah, why can't we just, like I said, we got guys and girls from OVW and just Illinois and North Dakota, and we just have cars from everywhere. Everybody wants to. You should see the messages. We got 10 people a day who want to wrestle for Magnum, and so obviously we have our local guys, and we keep them in the circuit, and then we have new guys that come and go, and people we keep calling back, and yeah, it's just like everybody wants to be a part of it. It's hard to give everybody a spot, everybody an opportunity. So, yeah, but I want it to be bigger. Not to hurt any feelings. I want a bigger venue.
Yeah.
A lot of people like where we're at. Just my personal opinion. I want a bigger venue. I love the one in Elkhorn. Obviously, we can't do that every month.
That was a good venue.
Once a year for sure.
Modern. Like super modern. So
the September show, again, personally, I'm not a fan of outside shows, but I have a good feeling about this one.
The Grain Room.
Yeah,
we were supposed to have a show last year, but it was too cold, right?
Yep.
The weather,
Yeah, weather was the problem there.
So, yep. Hopefully, we can make that right this year. Pretty big show.
That's right next to my job.
Yep.
So I'm super excited. That venue's cool, and they have that huge screen. Like,
yep,
it's breathtaking when you stand outside like that. And hopefully, if we do get nice weather, that's going to be a very nice show.
So yeah, I'm hoping that's good. Moving on to some bigger venues. Again, I love that we sell out a week or two in advance, but I kind of want to take a step up. Again, there's obviously a lot more people that get to control this and have their say. But it's like, man, if we're selling out is great, but I think we need to
do more.
A little bigger venue, a little challenge ourselves to not sell out.
You could do the WWE thing and do a 2-night event.
We have tried that before, but we also tried it the 2 nights after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And that's a very tough draw for us, is around the holidays especially. So that's why we don't do an October show, because we are always at the end of the month. We skip October, and then we switch to November, December towards the beginning. That way we don't go against Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, that's tough.
So we did do a couple of years ago at the Side Room. We did December 26th was a free show the night after. Hopefully everybody's still in town. Christmas died down, all that good stuff. So that was decent. But yeah, MMA is very, very popular the night before Thanksgiving. Everybody's in town, nothing to do. They're not going to eat all the food right away. So they have Wednesday night MMA in Des Moines and Omaha and all that stuff has been very popular. I've always kind of wanted to try that, but again, big risk. But yeah, it's kind of a tough draw. We have done a Battle Royal Cup 2 nights where you win the first night, you move on to the second night, and then yeah, that was a pretty good night. Didn't draw a lot of fans, didn't sell out, but man, there was some good matches, and yeah, I really enjoyed that show. I wish a lot of more people could have seen it. But.
Yeah, and I mean, that's truly what matters. Just using this year as an example, the January show where it was just blisteringly cold. It was so cold. But still, with having the delays, the people not showing up, I mean, it still was an incredible night. It's hard to, especially for the guys that haven't gone to Magnum, I've gone to every show from when I started, right? But for them, it's man, you got to watch the show. As soon as they put out that match, you need to watch that match. It was just that good. But even watching it back and then having the commentary and versus being there, not having the commentary, it's a whole different experience.
Yep.
So being there will always be the best thing, and I stand by that. I have trouble watching wrestling on TV now because I can see it in person, technically in my backyard. You know what I mean? Not really, but.
And that's always a fine line too. Is if you have these big events, if you guys go to WWE and you're way up in the nosebleeds, and then you just find yourself looking at the big screen the whole time, where it's man, I could have sat at home for free and just watched the TV because that's what I'm doing here. But again, you're still there, you're still live, there's merch, there's all kinds of stuff that you don't get to see on TV. But yeah, I found that a lot. Like if I go to an MMA show, haven't gone there in years to just sit and watch. Obviously, I've coached or I fought or something like that. But it's like, man, if I'm just watching the screen, why didn't I stay at home for free? So
yeah,
I find it hard. The last WWE was probably the first one I've been to since I was honestly probably 15. So
wow.
Yeah, I honestly don't even go to those shows, but it's a pretty good time. Maybe I'll go back.
Yeah, well, next time we come, maybe we pick up a ticket. You come with us.
Well, there you go.
We have a good time. We're also really loud, so
Yeah, we're rowdy. We get rowdy.
We get rowdy, as you can tell with Magnum.
Yeah.
It doesn't change. WWE is probably the only show that I haven't been able to be loud enough at. You know, like AEW, I was loud.
We got Mike Bennett. We got Mike Bennett to pop at what was it? Was it Ring of Honor taping? Or was
it was both. Because it was one right after the other. Bennett was out. He was eating an apple because Orange Cassidy was out. He was just eating random fruits. And I was like, Bennett, you suck! And he turns around. He's like looking around trying to figure out who did it. Yeah. The whole show I was telling him. Yeah. It was good. It was a good time. But yeah, we were relatively... Funny enough, we sat next to Austin Fouts.
Oh, okay.
Just out of complete random.
Yep.
And then 2 seats from us, like 2 rows from us was Logan.
Okay.
So we were literally all together.
Yeah,
and I was just like, what are the odds? We didn't plan this, but now we know everybody in this section. That's kind of cool. So we got super rowdy that day.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic.
But man, I guess going back to that, find your locals. Without us, without fans, without wrestling, I mean, what else are they going to do? You know, it's the best time on either a Friday or Saturday. For the cost of a ticket, you barely can buy food for. So why not go out, enjoy something that you love, put into the community, put into the wrestling, and make it happen.
Yeah, like I said, you can't go to the movies for that price.
That's
and,
what I'm
it's
saying.
still, again, a lot of people go into this. Like to keep 2 hours or so. Sometimes it goes 3 hours, a little bit longer than moving. But, man, it's like, everything is expensive. Gas is expensive. Like all this stuff is expensive. So EC3 was at our show and he's like, man, you guys are doing phenomenal with your sellouts. The hardest time in the world right now is to get people to leave their house, spend their money on gas, spend their money on tickets, go and sit there and be entertained for 3 hours. And he said he had his own show and he's like struggling in a city that was bigger than Omaha. So he's really blown away with our production and gave us a lot of good feedback. So it's like it is tough to we gotta give you a reason to leave. And like I said, we are blessed with phenomenal fans that this is the highlight of their month, and they save their money so they can afford to get front row. And as soon as they go on sale, we've already sold. I think there's what's the show? 3 weeks away, 2 weeks away,
28th, 26th,
2-ish weeks away. So
2.5 weeks,
yeah, 2.5 weeks, and I think
maybe 3.
We have 29 tickets left for sale right now.
Oh my goodness!
Like I said, as soon as we post them, we get 100 sold on the first night that we post them. Honestly, that's over 50% sold out or so. So
we slept on them last month. We had to sit second row for the first time. It was okay, but the front row is the best place in the house. I promise you.
So
that's, congratulations for one.
Thank
Again,
you.
Like you're saying, it's not easy to do that and to do it month after month. It's incredibly special. And again, without the people wanting to come and view it, what else can you do, right? But like I say, find your locals, support anybody you can. If it's wrestling involved, try to go. Anywhere in Omaha right now, you will not be disappointed with the wrestling. That's first and foremost. I'd hope to say that about MMA too. It's something I'm not as well versed in, but I should be. I do enjoy it. I've gone to a couple like semi-pro fights. They're fun.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun. If you go there with a good attitude, you're going to find something you like for sure. So, everything you brought, seriously, thank you. I'm still at a loss for words for all of that. I was not expecting any of that.
That's why I was like, man, we got to make a video. I can't just hand you something and just call it a day. We got to get something out of it, right? We got to show. And then again, I don't know some of the stuff. So some of the stuff I could tell you everything about. Some of the stuff I don't know. So now we need you guys, we need the fans to help us again and figure out what stuff is, give us some backstories and, see what happens from there.
Well, TJ, I would say thank you for one again for the fifth, ninth time. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but it's the joke for a reason. Any closing statements? Any message to the world?
I would say if you're gonna buy tickets to Magnum on nitrotickets.com/Magnum, be like the 4.5 marks, right? And put your reference as TJ Benson. But in general, just put somebody as a reference. There's an option for no preference, which is completely okay, but it really helps us determine, who do we keep bringing back? Who do we, who's selling all the tickets? Who the fans want to see? Obviously, we have our regulars, local guys. We've brought in Sierra multiple times just because, she gets a good reaction, but she also sells tickets. So again, this is a business at the end of the day, and we need money to make it to the next show. So we need to figure out who's selling the tickets and who's continuously bringing in money so we can keep affording to do shows. We can buy new lights, new cameras. We can buy, all kinds of entrance stuff. We can get, former WWE stars. We can get better talent. We can get bigger venues. So literally every single penny that the company's ever made is going right back into the company to make it bigger and better. And obviously you've seen that over the last 2 years or so. So
for sure,
it really helps. That's something that no other company has. I've worked with Nitro Tickets for, since I was 16 years old, I've known the owner. So hasn't quite been around that long, but that's just something nobody else has. It's a great tool that I wish people would use more. And, like I said, sometimes it's like, Red Wing sells a lot of tickets, which is crazy because he lives in a barn in the middle of nowhere, right? He doesn't even have cell phone service, but he sells a lot of tickets. Not as much as me, but he sells a lot of tickets. So, and I love Red Wing. I think me and Red Wing are probably the only two that have never left Magnum. We are like the diehard Magnum guys, and he is the Undertaker of the locker room. He is, nobody's going to disrespect or say anything to Red Wing. So I love Red Wing.
I wouldn't.
He's an amazing wrestler. I'd say next to Jason Strife, probably the best wrestler I've ever wrestled. And he's amazing. I love Red Wing. So,
he's really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, you would never imagine that. He gets a great reaction. Everybody they hear the music, they see the lights, and then he walks out and you're like, oh man, like that's a professional wrestler. Like, oh, something's about to happen. So
he's special for sure.
So
he threw Kit from outside of the ring
into the
ring, and I just I struggle. Gravity don't work that way, but for Red Wing, it does.
Yeah, it worked.
So yeah, he sells a lot of tickets, and I would never guess that just because, like I said, he's a good old-fashioned strong country boy, and he's not super huge on social media and all that stuff. It kind of reminds me of like a local Brock Lesnar, honestly.
Yeah,
and
that's a good comparison.
But yeah, he sells a lot of tickets. A lot of guys that claim they sell a lot of tickets and they don't, and so yeah, it's just a great tool that references, and then we just get to see who people are actually coming to watch. So.
We should get one.
Yeah, I say you guys. But then if you guys have your own, you'll stop picking me and my ticket sales. That's the only reason I haven't added that. But Alex, the announcer's on there. He sells a couple tickets every show too. So it's like, well, that's job security.
Yeah,
people are paying to see you announce, and they're not paying to see somebody wrestle. So.
Yeah, it all trickles down. The more you support, the better it gets. That's first and foremost. Again, there's not much else. Find your locals.
Like I said,
support your locals.
We are not making a single penny doing this. All this money goes back into the company. The wrestlers don't make that much money. The production guys don't make that much money. So, if you really, again, it's just the old adage of like, you want to see these guys like Fowler make it to the next level. You have to keep buying tickets. You have to keep coming. You have to keep supporting him because he's not going to be around forever. If he does make it to WWE, AEW,
wherever TNA, there's all kinds of destinations now.
Red Wing could make it. You know what I mean? Any of these guys have the ability to make it. They're getting so good we had the benefit during COVID of having the gym and doing Patreon tapings. And while everybody else was locked in their house, we were getting better. Like every weekend we were just wrestling. And again, we had 2 wrestling rings in the gym at Championship Fitness. And man, we were just training every day, just like making stuff. And then they still have that opportunity at the new school, at the Bulletproof Academy. So those guys, I mean, I honestly think some of them are better than me just because they're constantly working to grow and get better. And
practice makes perfect.
so
sure.
yeah, young, hungry talent. And you guys have seen that in some of the last couple of shows.
The Proving Grounds, yeah.
Proving Ground is
on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you can find Magnum.
A great tool of those guys coming and girls coming out of that gym,
which I'm super excited for. I feel like we don't have a solid like women's division or a women's. I can't think of the word, but like we've only had a handful of women's matches, you know, and I feel like every time they come through, it's just great. It's a you know, it's a different style of wrestling for sure, but is it just as entertaining? I'd say 100%. You know, and so just to get that and something that you don't normally get at any other wrestling show, so it's super cool. I really hope we can get more of that.
And that's the same thing. It's hard to find local girls, and you know, there's a couple out of Des Moines, but they just wrestle each other every show. So it's like, you know, like I said, I want people from Miami to be able to fly here in LA, and I want everybody, just like I said, Omaha's in the middle of the country. That's why it's called the Heartland, right? Like we're in the Midwest. Like everybody should be flying in here. Like, man, we don't just have to find them just from, you know, Des Moines or South Dakota or wherever. Like, man, we can just have them fly in. And same thing with OVW, and just opening all these kinds of doors. And those guys really want to come back and work. So, you know, they're on Netflix. So imagine how good we're doing if they're, you know, continuously want to keep coming back here. And it's just, like I said, getting bigger and better.
He chopped the mess out of me, man.
Yeah.
He chopped.
He came back and told me right away. Of course, this is the only T-shirt I own. So I was wearing it. He's like, "Hey, man, I just chopped your boy." And I was like, "Oh, yeah?" I was like, "Yeah, they like taking chops for some reason." But
it's a dumb rib.
It's a dumb rib.
It's like, hey, my buddy can take a chop. And we're like, I didn't say that. Like,
I was like, Kit messed me up one time a while back, too. It was at the Fire Legion Hall. Oh, man. He's like, so Chava said you wanted to take a chop. I was like, did he now? I was like, well, I mean, we're here.
It's the worst. It's the worst. That double chop sucked.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll be honest, that Luke Curtis one, he got me good.
Yeah, it sounded, when he said good, I was like,
and what the worst part was like that Nino and then Bobby Brennan, he was just laying into people. And then, of course, right after that, it's like, oh, yeah, come here.
The adrenaline probably still pumping.
That was...
He was laying into people.
Yeah, that was the most brutal match I've seen in a very long time, which I know Bobby trains some MMA. He's asked about me about fighting and stuff like that. So I didn't know Nino had a minute. That was a little a new side of Nino I've never seen before. And then, like I said, we've only seen Luke Curtis once or twice before that. So, they were going killing each other for that Top Gun title for sure.
The last time I saw Nino like that was against Kyle Pro at Stocks and Bonds. That was the last time I see Nino really get challenged like that. So it was super cool. But I mean, he handles his own.
Yep.
You know, as much as I don't like him, he handles his own. And that I can respect. So, man, I don't know where to go from here, dude. I'm over the mood. You have no idea. I guess we sign it off. Well, guys, it's been another exciting episode. None other than TJ Benson. I mean, he brought through an incredible amount of stuff. We'll have to figure out and divide it up and see where we can go with things. There might be opportunities for you guys at home to acquire some of this stuff. Not all of it, though, but some things.
Stay tuned.
So we'll see. We'll talk to the higher ups and figure out what we can do here. But again, TJ, thank you. We appreciate you. I'm sure you know the sign off by now, I hope.
No, I don't. You gotta help me.
If
every
that
time.
check bounces.
So do you.
Goodbye.